Your rookie draft is over. You need some guys to pick up. This will be a short video. I'm just going to be outlining some bull cases for players that are often going undrafted in most standard 4-round rookie drafts and why they make good taxi squad stashes. So if you guys have a taxi squad, basically you can take these players, throw them on your taxi squad, not have to worry about them until maybe they become fantasy football relevant. But today I'm going to be covering 10 players that you can stash at the end of your taxi squad that are going undrafted in rookie drafts. So without wasting any time, let's get right into it. All right, undrafted darling number one. Anybody I covered in yesterday's video is the first guy that I'm going to talk about. Sean Tucker, Trey Palmer as the most likely guys to go undrafted. I talked about Tucker having a chance to command a workload there in Tampa despite going undrafted in the NFL draft. He's getting drafted in most leagues, but in case he's available at the end of your rookie draft, definitely go and scoop him up. And same goes for Trey Palmer, who I think more often than not does go undrafted. I broke down the entire case for him in yesterday's video, so definitely go check that video out. But basically, he's big, he's fast, he had pretty good production at Nebraska, and he could carve out a role there in Tampa Bay as a 6th-round pick. So those two guys are definitely priority UDFA number 1 and 2 for me if they become available. Number 2, we have DeWayne McBride. DeWayne McBride of the Minnesota Vikings, 7th-round pick. Dalvin Cook is on the chopping block, according to many sources on the trade market. DeWayne McBride actually led this class in rush yards over expected, ranked 4th in this class with a 93.5 PFF rushing grade. My point is basically he's a very capable runner. He's a very capable early down ball carrier. And when you're getting an undrafted free agent, I'm not usually worried about how they get a workload. I'm worried about what happens if they do get a workload at running back. So definitely DeWayne McBride, go out and grab him if he's available in your league. Number 3, Xavier Hutchinson. In the wide receivers to target and avoid video, Hutchinson actually ranked quite high. His profile is blemished because he was a late declare, a late breakout, all that kind of stuff. But when he finally did produce at Iowa State, he posted very high-end numbers like a 33.6% target share, pretty much led the class in PFF receiving grade, enters a Houston offense where there's not a lot of size in that receiving core. He's 6'2", over 200 pounds. There's a lot of, Mechie slot receivers, Tank Dell, slot receiver, Robert Woods up there in age. Nico Collins is the only real outside wide receiver that they have there. So Xavier Hutchinson, a 6th-round pick to the Texans. I really like him as an end of the taxi squad stash as well. Number 4, Zack Kuntz, Jets tight end, was picked in the 7th round of the NFL draft. I broke him down in depth before the draft as one of my favorite sleepers. So if you want to see that breakdown, go check that video out. He slides 7th round to the New York Jets with a tight end depth chart of Tyler Conklin and CJ Uzomah. Not to mention, Zack Kuntz was a productive tight end at Old Dominion and literally the most athletic tight end in the Combine's history. Over 6'7", 260 pounds, right in the low 4.5s, jumped 40 inches. Definitely a freakish athlete who actually did produce at the college level. So I really like Zack Kuntz as a stash for your taxi squad. Number 5, Chris Rodriguez. I also broke him down before the draft. I think this is Brian Robinson's handcuff. Usually when it's a 2-man backfield like it is in Washington there with Brian Robinson and Antonio Gibson, each guy has a role, and if one guy goes down, they bring in the backup to fill that role, not necessarily give the other guy a huge workload. So if Robinson were to go down, I do think Gibson's capable of carrying the ball on early downs, but I think Chris Rodriguez would then slide into Brian Robinson's role in that early down work. He's got good size, got good athleticism, good college production, so I like him as well. Number 6, we have Tyler Scott, wide receiver of the Chicago Bears. I was not a huge fan of his game, if I'm being honest, but he went in the 4th round in the NFL draft, which is definitely interesting draft capital. Chase Claypool and Darnell Mooney are both free agents after this season, and Scott can fill the long-term deep threat role in that offense, especially if Chase Claypool moves on in free agency. Number 7, we have Jake Haener, quarterback of the New Orleans Saints. He was a 4th-round pick in the NFL draft. He was my sleeper pick to be this year's Brock Purdy. For me, I just kind of liked what I saw on film. I thought he was smart, thought he was accurate, thought he had some mobility. He scored well on the S2 cognition test as well. I believe he was one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the class, which is what we saw from Brock Purdy as well. I wouldn't be shocked if he's a good quarterback in that Saints system if he ever gets a chance to start. It would probably cause or take a Derek Carr injury given the contract that he signed, but you never know. If Derek Carr goes down, I think Jake Haener would be an instant pickup for me on Dynasty waiver wire, so I would rather just kind of stash him on the end of my bench. Number 8, we have Andrei Iosivas, who was a sixth rounder to the Cincinnati Bengals. He quietly had the sixth highest score in my wide receivers to target and avoid video. He dominated Princeton production wise. He has good size at 6'3", 205 pounds. He ran in the low 4.4s. Like I said, lands in a Cincinnati Bengals offense that we know is very potent. Could actually give Tyler Boyd a run for his money in the slot with him getting up there in age. And who knows, maybe the Bengals can't extend T. Higgins. I think Andrei I is a pretty decent stash there at the end of your benches. Number 9, we have Lew Nichols, who went 7th round to the Green Bay Packers. Similar situation to Chris Rodriguez, in my opinion. I think if A.J. Dillon were to go down, Nichols could work into the early down role. He has great size at over 220 pounds to carry an early down workload. Sneakily had a 11% target share in college as well. Also scored very well in the running backs to target and avoid video. Number 10, finally in this video, is Dontayvion Wicks, wide receiver now of the Green Bay Packers. He was also a day 3 pick. His college career was pretty tumultuous, to say the least. 3 of his Virginia teammates were killed in a shooting, and he was injured himself in his final year. So on film, I really saw the type of guy that can be like a Devontae Parker type of skill set. He has good size, good contested catch ability, decent production, just not the fastest guy in the world, not the most dynamic athlete in the world. So I think he's kind of interesting as depth there for that Green Bay Packers wide receiver course. There's some other guys that I left out that I didn't talk about. A.T. Perry, who went to the Saints in the 6th round. Puka Nacua, who went to the Rams. Charlie Jones, who went actually, I believe, ahead of Andrei I to the Bengals. There's a number of different names still out there that I couldn't get to everybody, but those guys are also decent pickups if some of these guys are not available in your leagues. So those were 10 players that you should spend priority pickups in undrafted free agency after your rookie draft. Those were the order in which I would pick them up. So if you were wondering, like, would I take Jake Haener over A.T. Perry? Yes, because I listed this list in the order of what your waiver claim should look like if all of the guys that I talked about in this video are available. So, priority guys, Sean Tucker, Trey Palmer, if they're there. If not, go down to the next guy. If not, go down to the next guy, that kind of thing. So if you enjoyed this video, kept it really short, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Comment anything down below. Who's your favorite undrafted free agent pickup? And also, if you want all my rookie rankings, dynasty rankings, you know how to get them. flockfantasy.com/FSE for a 2-day free trial and 30% off all packages. But with that being said, peace out, and we'll talk to you soon.